keep in mind when Canadian visitors used to come over the border, whether it was for a sporting event or to check out attractions like the DIA or the Henry Ford, they were also spending money at hotels, Detroit restaurants, local boutiques. All of that, of course, has changed now, and it's affected how Detroit markets itself and also who we market ourselves to.
Well, there's no question we've had to make critical adjustments. There's a lot more social media right now. A lot less advertising that's being done.
With non-essential travel between the U.S. and Canada off the table until at least July 21st, what would normally be go-to destinations for Canadian visitors are taking a real hit. This is generally the Henry Ford's peak season, but it just reopened last weekend after more than 2 months closed. Canadians account for about 4% of all visitors to the museum. That's around 72,000 people a year.
It's actually 65% of our total international market.
And the international market for Detroit tourism is frozen, says the CEO of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Larry Alexander.
We're not doing any international marketing at all right now.
Instead, they're focusing on attracting people from neighboring states like Ohio or Indiana.
We have really begun to focus on what we refer to as a 3 to 5 hour drive radius.
The same struggle is happening over the border. Ontario's wineries rely on Americans for 20% of their annual tourism numbers. And then there's casinos.
I know Caesars Windsor, for example, relies on 33% of their businesses from the U.S.
The Henry Ford had to lay off 80% of its staff due to the shutdown. When tourism finally rebounds, some changes will likely stick around, like virtual exhibitions and online learning.
We don't anticipate a lot of field trips, so if the schools can't come, then we'll provide field trips online.
Now, I should mention that Caesars in Windsor remains closed right now, and the Henry Ford relies mostly on earned income. They say they're not getting any federal help through PPP, so they're really relying on those membership renewals, donations, and of course, visitors. While they are open in a limited capacity right now, they're obviously facing an uphill battle, as are so many attractions here in Detroit because of this pandemic. You can read much more on our website, WXYZ.com. Reporting live, Jen SCHANZ, 7 Action News.